my lord, we are persons, my lord, who are of the same sex. We have, my lord, according to us, the same rights under the Constitution as the heterosexual group of the society. Your lordships have held so. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. That we have exactly the same rights as our brethren of the heterosexual group of society, which is the majority. We are a minority. But the only stumbling block on our equal rights, equal opportunities, equal dignity, equal fraternity was, my lord, 377. By virtue of 377, our actions were subject to criminality. Because it was criminality, my lord, it could not be equal in all measures of the heterosexual group. Criminality is now gone. The unnatural part or the order of nature under 377 is now effaced from our statute book. And therefore, our rights being equal in all forms, which are, my lord, reflected from Puttu Swami, Navtej, my lord, the judgments of this court on the right to marry a person of your own choice, Shafeen and all that, which I will show. If our rights are identical as held by the state, then we want to enjoy the full panoply of our rights under 14, 15, 19 and 21 to lead a dignified life, not mere existence like your lordship said in Francis Corali Bulin 40 years ago. To lead a life to our fullest extent with dignity, privacy in our home, and, my lord, without taint or stigma in public places. And therefore, we cherish and desire the same institution between two people as is available to the others, which is, my lord, the concept of marriage, the concept of family, because marriage and family is respected in our society. We don't, my lord, today, my lord, laws have now, my lord, progressed. In the Domestic Violence Act, even live-ins, my lord, are allowed. That is recognized by the court. Your lordship recognize it, even giving, my lord, property, money, inheritance, etc. So there is no reason why, once our rights are identical and same as held by your lordships, my lord. And that has been the development, my lord, in the US and other nations. I have made a one-page chart which I'll show to your lordship. Therefore, my lord, we seek a declaration. Because we have to be concrete. What do we want from the court? We seek a declaration that we have a right to, my lord, get married. That right, my lord, will be recognized by the state and would be registrable under the Special Marriage Act and other acts. But as far as I am concerned, my lord, my brief is to say that we want a declaration that we have a right to marriage and that marriage will be recognized by the state by virtue of the imprimatur of this court. And once that happens, the society will recognize us. Because even after 377, my lord, there is a stigma. If two people walk hand in hand in a park, my lord, or in a hotel or in a mall, they are still stigmatized in public. That stigma will only go after the imprimatur of this court that they are entitled to get married, and the state shall recognize it. And once the state recognizes it, it can also be registered. And that will be full and final assimilation of this minuscule group, my lord, into
assuming that you seek a declaration from the court,
yes,
that queer people belonging to the queer community,
yes,
same-sex couples
have a right to
have a right to marry, and therefore the state must recognize the marriage between these two. Now, what is the next step? Are you therefore saying that the Special Marriage Act already recognizes that right inherent in it?
Well,
a matter of an interpretative device or an
by an interpretative, I don't want it to be quashed or anything.
Right.
By an interpretative device, in one line, if I was to say, the provisions, my lord, of the Special Marriage Act made in 1954. Today, my lord, we are now 70 years down. There is a lot of evolution. As I said, my lord, live-ins, etc. have now come in. I want to say, my lord, that your lordships may broadly read spouse in place of man and women or husband and wife. And that is it. And if I may show, my lord, a classic example of the definition of marriage in Black's dictionary, which I will show to your lordship, in 1968, said, my lord, it's a union of a man and woman. But when the definition came in 2019, it says, my lord, a union of two persons. Concept of marriage is changing. So concept of marriage has changed over last 100, 200 years. We had concepts of, my lord, group marriages. We had very different concepts. We had concepts of child marriage. We had concepts of, my lord, temporary marriages. We had concept that, my lord, prior to the Hindu Code Bill introduced by Pandit Nehru, my lord, in 1950, a person could marry any number of times. That, my lord, also changed. Hindu Code Bill, my lord, was not accepted. There were a lot of protests to this new avatar of the Hindu Marriage Act. It was not accepted. And Dr. Ambedkar had to resign. Then came the evolution of Hindu Marriage Act. Now in Hindu Marriage Act itself, my lord, in 2005, the rights which were restricted of women, starting from the Women's Right to Inheritance Property Act in 1937, all that has now changed, my lord. And full rights are available in 2005. So, my lord, Constitution is a living document. The preamble says, my lord, equality, fraternity. And I will read passages of, my lord, the Chief Justice, my lord, judgment, my lord, in Navtej, in Puttaswamy, in Shafin, in Deepika, and Justice Kaul, my lord, also referring to it. This is the thread. If this is the thread of the Constitution, equality, fraternity, justice to all, today we are a part of the all. The only thing which was stumbling, my lord, was that criminality. That is now gone. If we are a part of all.
So really, your analysis is two-step. One, the declaration of marriage as a fundamental right as being implicit in the constitutional guarantees 14, 19, and 21.
No, as interpreted by Lordships, my lord, in Puttaswamy, Navtej, basically.
And then step two, the second limb of your submission, that this also can find recognition by a reading, an appropriate reading of the Special Marriage Act.
My lord.
So you're not going into the broader issue of personal law and other things, we take it.
Right? No, my lord, I am not.
Right.
And I am not also touching any personal law of Muslims, etc., my lord. Somebody may raise an issue, I am not.